Hi there, my name is Hailey Carlson and I currently work as a kindergarten teacher in Lone Tree, Iowa. I'll be moving to Salt Lake City this summer with my husband because he got a job there. I'm really excited for the new adventure and to be applying for your district. The first question revolves around how I actively engage students within their learning in my classroom, and I use several strategies, but the most important being providing many opportunities for them to respond throughout a lesson. I like to be the guide on the side where I ask questions and then use different methods like choral responses, raised hands, think, pair, shares, or even my lucky duck sticks, where students are encouraged to actively participate and think about their learning rather than just listening and memorizing. Another way that I engage students is through movement, songs, and games. One of my students' favorite games is our game show, where I just use the content on the board and I ask questions into my microphone and then hold it out to the class for a choral response, kind of like I'm the host and they're the contestants, which they think is really funny. My students will benefit from me as their teacher because I will encourage them to have a growth mindset. I will encourage them to take on challenges and I will hold them to high expectations, but I'll also make sure to provide the scaffolding that they need to be successful. I also will create a loving and welcoming classroom environment by stating clear expectations and creating a positive classroom community. The next question revolves around assessments and how I can improve my student learning outcomes. I use a mixture of formative and summative assessments within my classroom. Formative assessments help me respond to student needs in real time. So for example, if a think, pair, share, my students give me that lost look, it tells me, oh, I need to slow down, I need to cover this a little more. And then the summative assessments at the end tell me what content students understood and what content that I need to go back and reteach, whether that be to the whole group or in small groups. An example of how I do this is after every math test that my students take, I score their tests and then organize them into quadrants based on their score. And then from there, I look at the questions that they missed, what content is connected to those questions, and I create small groups and reteach the material as needed based on their questions and scores. Finally, how do I plan to plan lessons that meet the student needs? When planning lessons, I use a backward approach where I start with the standard, and then from there, I create sequential, specific, and measurable learning objectives that meet the standard. And while creating each lesson, I analyze student assessment data and their learning needs to create differentiation throughout my lesson to meet those diverse needs. I'll use formative assessment to adjust and respond to their needs in real time. And I will reflect on how the lesson went afterwards and what I could do better and what students may need in the next lesson. Thank you for considering me as an applicant, and I look forward to hearing from you.